buckle up, because what just happened in the Middle East could reshape global energy, global markets, and possibly global security. In the last 24 hours, Iran has partially shut down activity in the Strait of Hormuz during live-fire naval drills. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy is conducting missile launches, drone deployments, and what they're calling smart control exercises over one of the most critical waterways on Earth. And while nuclear negotiations are ongoing, rhetoric from Tehran and Washington is escalating fast. Today, we're breaking down why the Strait of Hormuz matters so much, what Iran's IRGC Navy is actually capable of, the nuclear backdrop behind all this, what the U.S. military response could look like, and what happens next if things go kinetic. Let's get into it. First, geography. So, the Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. At its narrowest point, about 21 miles wide. That's it. Through that tiny corridor flows roughly 20% of the world's traded oil, over 20 million barrels per day, from major exporters like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and the UAE. This is the global energy choke point. Iran controls the northern coastline. Oman controls the southern side. If traffic here slows down, insurance rates spike. Oil prices jump, markets panic. And historically, even minor disruptions here have caused serious volatility. Now here's what changed. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, the IRGC Navy, launched large-scale live-fire exercises in and around the strait. Missile launches, drone deployments, submarine activity, surveillance operations. They're calling it smart control of the strait. Translation? We're showing you we can shut this down. Rear Admiral-level commanders have boasted about 24/7 surveillance and cruise missile capabilities reaching up to 600-plus miles. That's not just posturing, that's signaling. This isn't a traditional blue water navy like the U.S. Navy. The IRGC Navy specializes in asymmetric warfare. That means fast attack boats, swarming tactics, coastal anti-ship missile batteries, naval mines, drone saturation attacks, small submarines. Instead of matching aircraft carriers ship for ship, which they can't, they aim to overwhelm larger navies using speed and numbers. 50 small missile-armed boats moving at 40 to 50 miles per hour in tight formation can create chaos in confined waters like the Strait. This is classic A2/AD, anti-access/area denial strategy. And in narrow waterways, it becomes extremely dangerous. All of this is happening during renewed nuclear negotiations. Back in 2015, Iran signed the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, known as the JCPOA. It limited Iran's uranium enrichment in exchange for sanctions relief. But in 2018, the United States withdrew from the deal under Donald Trump. Iran later resumed enrichment. Today, Iran is enriching uranium up to 60% purity, technically below weapons grade, but far closer than civilian energy requirements. Weapons grade is around 90%. That gap is no longer years away. It's measured in months, possibly weeks, if they made the political decision. That's the backdrop behind these naval drills. This is leverage. Markets don't like uncertainty. Oil prices have already reacted with upward pressure following the drills. A full closure of the Strait of Hormuz? That could spike oil dramatically overnight. And here's another fact. Even countries like China and India, major buyers of Gulf oil, rely heavily on this route. This isn't a U.S.-Iran issue only. It's global. Now let's talk response capability. The United States maintains significant naval assets in the region. Carrier strike groups, guided missile destroyers, submarines, ISR platforms. If tensions escalated into open conflict, a likely U.S. Your playbook would involve electronic warfare, jamming radar systems, suppression of enemy air defenses, SEAD, precision strikes on missile sites, maritime mine-clearing operations, submarine-launched cruise missiles, aircraft like the EA-18G Growler specialize in electronic attack. Destroyers can launch SM-series interceptors. Submarines carry Tomahawk cruise missiles. The objective would be simple: open the strait, neutralize missile batteries, destroy naval swarm capability. But here's the key: even a short engagement could destabilize the entire region. Iran doesn't operate alone. It has proxy networks in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. These groups could open secondary fronts. Ballistic missiles, Iran reportedly possesses thousands. Drone production, massive scale, and cyber capability. Iran has conducted cyber attacks on infrastructure in the past. So this isn't just naval, it's multidimensional. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. You don't need war for escalation. You just need a mistake, a misidentified radar signature, a drone launch interpreted as hostile, a naval collision. When both sides are conducting 24/7 operations in tight waters, the risk of accidental confrontation skyrockets. History shows that major conflicts sometimes begin not with declarations, but with miscalculations. This is classic coercive diplomacy. Iran signals, "We can hurt the global economy." The US signals, "We can neutralize your military." Both sides raise stakes, hoping the other backs down. But once you start signaling you're willing to disrupt 20% of global oil supply, it's hard to walk that back without appearing weak. Here are the possible paths. Scenario 1. Negotiations produce partial sanctions. Relief in exchange for enrichment limits. Tensions cool. Scenario 2. Continued brinkmanship. Drills continue. Oil volatility rises. Scenario 3. Accidental clash leads to limited strikes. Scenario 4. Full kinetic engagement focused on missile sites and naval infrastructure. Right now, we're somewhere between Scenario 2 and Scenario 3. The Strait of Hormuz isn't just a strip of water. It's the world's energy artery. Iran's drills are more than symbolism. They're a signal. But signals can become triggers if misread. The next few weeks, especially regarding nuclear talks, will determine whether this remains strategic theater or turns into something much bigger. What do you think happens next? Do we see escalation, a deal, or a prolonged standoff? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dive military and geopolitical breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe. Because this story, it's far from over.